Alright guys, it is nearing the end of 2021. It is currently Christmas Eve as I'm filming this, and I basically just wanted to go through who I think has been the best individual player in the Premier League. Well, it doesn't have to be just in what they've done in the Premier League as a competition, but it has to be a player who plays in the Premier League, if that makes sense. So as in Champions League form counts as well, FA Cup, League Cup, everything. So I've shortened it down to three candidates. I've gone with Mo Salah, my first one. So I've picked Salah for, obvious reasons. This season he's top of the scoring charts. He's got 15 goals in the Premier League and 9 assists. He's top of both stats, as I already say. Yeah, top of both statistics. No one's got more goals or assists than him in the Premier League this season. Also doing well in the Champions League too. And even last season, in the final 6 months of the season, Liverpool wouldn't have made Champions League if they didn't have Salah. When they went through that awful spell where they had no centre back, and I think the final 10 games of the season, which they won 8 and drew 2, Salah was phenomenal throughout that run, and had he not have played, we wouldn't have got Champions League end of, really. So, he deserves a lot of praise, and he is getting it. He's an obvious candidate for this. He's just a brilliant player. My second pick was Ruben Diaz, because City really struggled defensively in the 2019-20 season and the start of last season as well. They didn't start off the season great, but as soon as Ruben Diaz came in, things changed, and ever since then he's just been absolutely brilliant, and he's continued it this season as well as last season. He's an obvious pick as well. I think also he's one of the only players that Guardiola plays in his team like 80 to 90% of the time. For the rest, there's a lot of rotation. Whereas with Ruben Diaz and Ederson, maybe, they play the vast majority of games for Man City. So he's definitely a choice. And my third pick, I went with Bruno Fernandez, because last season, very good. In fact, his first 18 months at Man United were absolutely phenomenal in terms of numbers. I think he definitely is a player who stats definitely help, like, his recognition of how good a player he is. He's some players you don't go to stats, like for instance when Moussa Dembele was at Tottenham, his statistics in terms of goals and assists weren't great, but obviously you watch a game of that Tottenham play and you can see that he's phenomenal. It's like what he does in central midfield. But enough about Dembele. Fernandez, just ridiculous amounts of goals and assists. I think he got something like 40 goals in his first 18 months at United, which is amazing. This season, it's been a bit different because he's no longer on penalties and free kicks, because you know who is Cristiano Ronaldo, obviously. Penalties were a big part of where he got his goals from. So that's taken a massive chunk out of his method of goal scoring, and therefore his goal scoring numbers. But I still think he's played very well this season. He's creating a lot of chances for Man United, and in a poor start to the season, he has been one of the best players for Man United, alongside probably David De Gea. Ronaldo's still done a good job, I guess, overall, but he can have games where he just isn't in the game at all. Who else for United? Fred's played really well recently, and they're probably the few players for United that can say they've had a positive start to the season. But yeah, out of all three, and I will say there were a few other names that I did think of adding to this list. Mason Mount has been very good and has had a great year for Chelsea, and also at the Euros he didn't have a bad Euros. But you know, he won the Champions League with Chelsea. He's probably been Chelsea's most reliable goal contributor. I don't know how many goals and assists he's got, but I'd imagine he's got a fair few. But yeah, he was definitely an option. Harry Kane would have been an option if you'd have asked me this question in the summer, but he's been quite frankly appalling since coming back from the Euros. What was that? Don't know what that was. It scared me a bit. But yeah, he hasn't been the same player since coming back from the Euros, so I didn't pick him. But anyway, out of the three players I did pick, I think I've got to go with Mohamed Salah, because he is producing form that is like up there with the best we've seen in the Premier League of all time, probably. I think for me, this Salah versus Hazard debate that a lot of people like to have at the moment, I personally think, I mean, I might be a bit biased in saying this, but I personally think Salah at the moment is performing a level above what Hazard has done for Chelsea. Don't get me wrong, Hazard was an absolutely amazing player, but I don't think we were ever really talking about Hazard as being the best or one of the very best players in the world, or like up for Ballon d'Or. Do you know what I mean? Whereas Salah, we're like asking questions, oh, should he win the Ballon d'Or? So for me, I've gone with Salah's been my player of 2021. So yeah, anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.